What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? This is our future and our choice to make. I am asking you to choose greatness.
Welcome back to Real Trump News. Real news President Trump doesn't want you to miss. Secretary of State Pompeo and HHS Secretary Azar writes in the USA Today, the first duty of the federal government is to keep our citizens safe from the coronavirus. Since the U.S. first became aware on December 30th of what has become known as the novel coronavirus, America's public health officials have closely monitored the situation, worked to understand the virus, and taken steps to limit Americans' exposure to it. We facilitated the delivery of vast amounts of medical supplies to the Chinese people. Just last week, the State Department helped transport 17.8 tons of relief supplies to Hubei, and more assistance will continue to be offered. The U.S. is prepared to spend up to $100 million in existing state and U.S. agencies for international development funds to assist China and other impacted countries that contain and combat the virus. Some private companies also donated large amounts of medical supplies, and our CDC staff based in more than 60 countries are working closely with Ministry of Health and other health partners, often in conjunction to their colleagues at the State Department and other federal agencies. Scott Brady, a U.S. attorney in Pennsylvania, writes in the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review, on January 6, 2020, 92-year-old Maria Fronte was raped and murdered by Riaz Khan, a 21-year-old illegal immigrant in New York City. But this tragedy was entirely preventable. In fact, Khan should have been in custody at the time, because 6 weeks earlier, Khan was jailed and arrested for domestic violence charges. Because he was in the country illegally, ICE filed a detainer that requested that the jail gave ICE prior notice and opportunity to detain Khan before the jail released him. Rather than honoring this request, New York officials released Khan. Had they honored the detainers, Ms. Fluente might still be alive today. The Associated Press is reporting that President Trump is proposing a $900 million increase in education spending to teach skills and trades, in what would be a historic federal infusion into a spending area that has been stagnant for years. The president believed in strong career paths for students as alternatives to a 4-year degree. The announcement Monday followed Trump's State of Union push for career and technical education, and is in line with an increasing emphasis on the idea that there should be a stronger career path for students as alternatives for a 4-year degree. Steve Forbes writes for Fox Business, President Trump continued to make historic progress in delivering on his promise to bring business-minded reforms to Washington. The Department of Defense just announced that it saved $6.5 billion in its 2019 budget by implementing better business practice. Leaders on both sides of the aisle have sought for decades to bring a sense of fiscal responsibility to the Pentagon. This week, Chief Management Officer of Department of Defense, Lisa Hirschman, announced her office had generated $6.5 billion in savings from the reform during 2019, in addition to $4.7 billion previously saved in the 2017 and 2018 budget. Stop and ask yourself, when was the last time the Pentagon announced it has saved any money by changing the way it does business? That they achieve these savings so quickly speaks of how effective reform can be when it's empowered by support from the top. The president has made it a priority, and his appointees are carrying out the vision. And that's this week's Real Trump News. We will see you next time.